Hello children. Now today we are going to start with the very first lecture of our organic chemistry. That is that this will be the first lecture of GOC, that is General Organic Chemistry. Means these series of lecture or set of lecture will help you to understand organic chemistry and the basic concepts of organic chemistry. Exactly, I would like to say that this is not a chapter of any curriculum or syllabus, but is a part of your organic chapter. So let's begin. So as you can see it on the screen, chemistry is majorly divided into three branches. That is physical chemistry, where you'll be studying the laws, the applications, the physical phenomena. Inorganic chemistry, where you'll be studying majorly about the periodic table, the study of elements, their properties, their characters. Inorganic substances or inorganic chemistry also deals with non-living substances or the substances obtained from non-living source. For example, your salt, calcium carbonate, etc. Then organic chemistry or organic chemistry, the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of carbon. It is also known as the study of living sources. Examples are sugar, oil, etc. So, what you can say is most of the materials which we use daily, such as clothing, fuel, polymer, dyes, and medicines, are made up of organic compounds. So now let us discuss more about the organic compounds or organic substances. So organic compounds, they are the compounds like urea, sugar, oils, fats, I said earlier also, dyes, proteins, vitamins. Means they are the compounds which are directly or indirectly isolated from living organisms. These living organisms like animals and plants. So they are known as organic compounds. So first, this organic compound definition was defined by Berzelius. But later, after modification, it was observed that the chemistry of carbon compounds, or you can say the compounds basically containing carbon, hydrogen as the main element, sometimes along with some additional elements which are usually hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogen, phosphorus, etc. And they may be called as heteroatoms. Now after getting introduced with organic compounds, let us see what type of bonding is observed in organic compounds. So basically in organic compounds, covalent bond is observed. 99.99% all the organic compounds contain covalent bond. Only 0.1% that is the Grignard reagent, it is not containing this covalent bond. So as you know that basically ionic and covalent bonds are present in the compounds. So covalent bond is present in organic compounds. What is this covalent bond? Where sharing of electrons takes place. Like here you can see the example of methane, where the electrons are being shared. These are the dots representing the electrons of carbon, and these are the cross representing the electrons of hydrogen. So these are being shared. Means in a bond you will be having both characters of this electron also, of this element's electron also. This is covalent sharing of electron. Covalent sharing of electron. So all the organic compounds contain covalent bond. Means almost all, means 99.99% organic compound contain covalent bond. So now, what are hydrocarbons? Hydrocarbons are compounds of carbon and hydrogen. Means these are the compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen, or they are derived from organic compounds, are called as hydrocarbons. Like you can see, this is an organic compound. This is organic compound containing carbon and hydrogen. If we remove all the H and add Cl in place of H, you will get CCl4, that is carbon tetrachloride. This is methane, an organic compound, and this is an hydrocarbon. This is also an organic compound. So organic compounds, or you can say hydrocarbons, are the compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen or are derived from organic compounds, are known as hydrocarbons. Now we'll study classification of hydrocarbons. Now see, hydrocarbons are further divided into two classes, that is saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon. Saturated hydrocarbons in which all carbon atoms are linked to another carbon by only single bond. Only single bond is present, means saturated compound. Okay, they can be cyclic or open chain, which we'll discuss it later. These types of compounds are known as alkanes. Ane means single bond. It's a trick. The general formula for alkane is CnH2n plus 2, where your N is representing number of carbons. Clear? Now the other set of classification is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbon means open chain hydrocarbon which contain carbon-carbon double or triple bond, or else multiple bond hydrocarbons are the unsaturated hydrocarbons. These unsaturated hydrocarbons or the multiple bond hydrocarbons are further classified into alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes contain double bond and alkynes contain triple bond. So, alkenes have the general formula CnH2n, while the alkynes have the general formula CnH2n minus 2. The common name for alkanes, that is the saturated hydrocarbon, is paraffins. Why paraffins? Because they are less reactive. While the another name for alkenes are olefins. Olefins means oil forming. Means the lower member of this class react with chlorine to form oily products. And alkynes, it's commonly known as acetylenes because the name of the first member of this family is acetylene. That is, it contains 2 carbon with a triple bond. Clear? Now just take a look in this where N stands for number of carbon atom. If you have 1 carbon atom, you call it as meth, and the alkane family goes methane for 1 carbon, ethane for 2 carbon, propane for 3 carbon, butane for 4 carbon, pentane for 5 carbon, hexane for 6 carbon, heptane for 7 carbon, 8 octane, 9 nonane, 10 decane. Similarly, we have the alkene and the alkyne family. We start from ethene, which I already said. Ethyne, the other name, the common name is acetylene, which contains 2nd carbon, means 2 carbon. This alkene and alkyne family, it will begin from 2 carbon, means where the value of N will be 2. Clear? Ethene, propene, butene, pentene, hexene, heptene, octane, nonene, decene. Similarly, we have ethyne, propyne, butane, pentyne, hexyne, heptyne, octyne, nonine and decyne. Clear? This alkene, alkyne and alkane family is clear. Now next we'll study the structural formula. means how you will represent the molecule. Basically, there are three types to represent organic molecule. The first one is a complete formula. The second type is condensed formula. The third one is line angle formula. Clear? In complete formula, you will represent this bond as well as the electrons. Clear? Bond as well as the electron are represented. Bond is represented by a dash or a simple line. An electron or the electron shared are also represented. In case of condensed formula, neither dash nor electron are represented. So it is either written like this, or it is written with a little bit spread. Or this is also condensed form, written like this. Then you have line angle formula, where only line are represented, and each bend in the line represents the carbon atom. Means wherever the carbon will bend, it will represent wherever the line will bend, it will represent a carbon. Clear? This is representing three carbons. Here the line is bending one carbon. This is second, and this is the third carbon. Okay, it's a single bond, single line. Then it is your propane. Three carbon is prop, single bond, ane, propane. Now next is 3D representation of organic molecule. The 3D representation of organic molecule means it is represented on a paper by using certain conventions. For example, this solid line. Okay, this solid line and this dashed line. Okay, they form a two-dimensional picture. Means this formula, 3D image of a molecule from a 2D image is perceived. Means how see, this is the 3D representation of methane. 3D representation of methane. How the thick solid or heavy line, okay, or the solid wedge indicates the bond lying above the plane of the paper. Okay, and projecting towards observer, means this is towards you. This hydrogen bond is towards you. It is towards you like this. Okay, it is towards you. While that wedge line, or you can say the dashed line actually, this is solid wedge line and this is dashed wedge line. Okay, this dashed wedge line is used to represent a bond lying below the plane of the paper, and projecting away from the observer. So these wedges are used in such a way that the broad end is towards the observer. So the bond lying in the plane of the paper are depicted by using a normal or a ordinary line. This is lying on the paper, in the plane of the paper. Clear? So this is the 3D arrangement, or you can say 3D structure, or you can say spatial formula for representation of methane. Methane has a tetrahedral structure. So this was all about how to represent the organic molecule, or how to start studying the organic molecule. This was our lecture 1, which was very basic concepts of organic chemistry. I hope you liked the video. We'll continue more with the basics of organic chemistry in our next lecture or next video. Till then, keep watching, keep revising, keep learning. Thank you and have a very nice day.